I fell in love with him. He left the United States and went to Brussels. He was only supposed to be there for 5 days, but things got very out of control.
What's up, Seekers? Welcome back to another episode of Scamfish presented by SocialCatfish.com.
In total, I have sent him $108,000. And if he's real, it would make me nothing more than happy. I would invite you to the wedding.
On today's episode, we speak to a 66-year-old woman named Lynn from Oregon who fell in love with a man named Hubbard on the Jewish dating site JDate. Lynn has sent over $100,000 trying to get Hubbard back to the United States. She wants to know the truth. Is this man a fraud or her Prince Charming? Let's see if we can get to the bottom of this. Real quick, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
Hello, my name is Lynn. I'm a 66-year-old widow. I was married 3 times before. My last marriage was 23 years. It was the best marriage anybody could ever ask for. I'm so sorry that God needed him more than I did because he took him away from me. He was just this most sweet, darling man you'd ever want to meet in the world. Everybody loved him. He was just wonderful. He was just the most wonderful man. I can't say good enough about him. Then he got cancer and fought very, very hard to fight against that until it was too late.
The death of her husband left Lynn in a dark place. After months of mourning, she decided to look for solace by meeting people online. This is when everything took a turn.
He reminds me somewhat of my departed husband in the way he talks to me, in the way he treats me. He took my breath away. He took my heart. Can I describe the first message? It was basically, hi, how are you? And then we just started asking questions about each other. What do you like? What kind of movies do you like? What kind of music do you like? I was a little bit more open about that than he was. It took a little bit more pulling from me to get answers from him.
Hubbard was Lynn's type. It wasn't long before the relationship flourished and she fell in love with him.
He's got a gray beard and gray hair, and he's got beautiful blue eyes, and I think they're blue. At least they look blue in all the pictures I see. But I could be wrong. They could be gray. He's thin. He's not overweight. He doesn't have a big belly. He takes very good care of himself. He's very handsome. Very handsome. He's a widower. I'm a widow. We've been through a loss. We would talk about how he dealt with his loss of his wife, and I would share my loss of my husband. He just made me feel comfortable and loved. He just made me feel loved. We want to travel. We don't want to sit around just growing old. We want to see the world and see what the world has to offer. He has expressed he's loved me for a long time. He tells me all the time. We never hang up the phone without saying I love you. He always gives me kisses before he hangs up the phone. If he's texting me, he says I love you and I will love you for the rest of my life. I have told all my family and friends all about him. I've told my work people about him. I have shared with anybody who will hear me about him.
Just as Hubbard was to come home and finally be with Lynn, he was contracted for a job. He had to go to Europe on a work trip, but his money was tied up in a Turkish bank. This is when things took a turn for the worse.
He left the United States and went to Brussels to get all these materials together. He was only supposed to be there for 5 days, but things got very out of control. He asked me at the beginning of December for $4,800 to help get the materials shipped back to the United States. His money that he had in a Swiss bank account was tied up. Then the company, instead of half the contract, they offered him the full contract. So now he had to get the second half shipped. And he needed $4,600 to get that done. Why isn't the company coming up with this money? And he said, because they already prepaid him, and that money is locked up in the account. He was going to leave Brussels and go to Zurich to get this banking situation straightened out. He was running out of money to pay for his hotel room. The bank still hadn't opened up his funds, and he needed some money for food. And then he went down to the bank and got into an argument with the bank manager, and they arrested him. And they took him to jail. He would not leave until they would release his funds. And they kept asking for more and more money. They needed 18,000 euros to combine the accounts, $42,000 in taxes. I would go and I would take it out of my credit card and out of my retirement fund. He was heading back to the United States in the airport and was approached by some gentlemen who said that they were security. And I got a phone call from somebody that said he was dead. I called the hospital, I called the airport, and I called the morgue at the airport, and nobody had ever heard of this incident happening at all. About 3 weeks after I was told he was dead, I get a text from him saying that he escaped from these guys and he's hiding out in Copenhagen trying to get back to the United States. I said, why would anybody say you were dead? I said, first of all, this is the most horrible thing anybody could do to a widow who's already lost somebody she loved, and now another person that she loves is dead. In total, I have sent him $108,000.
This has proven a difficult situation for Lynn because she's had to compromise her well-being for the well-being of Hubbard. She even tapped into the financial plan her husband had left for her before he passed away.
Mentally, this has screwed me to no end. My husband left me in a very good position financially. When we found out he was ill, we did that on purpose. He made sure that I was going to be well taken care of. And he gave me instructions on what to do because we had some rental properties, and it was time to sell the rental properties, and I used some of that money to help Hub with, and my retirement fund. I would go without on my own. I would go without grocery shopping. I would do without to make sure that he had. If you told me that he was real, it would just make my heart jump for joy. I feel like the luckiest woman in the world in that I found another soulmate, and that everything was real and right, and I did the right thing, and I was true to who the person I am, in that when I love somebody, I help. And if he's real, it would make me nothing more than happy. I would invite you to the wedding.
It didn't take a lot of time to find out the truth about Hubbard. After a couple of reverse image searches using our website, socialcatfish.com, we were able to find out the truth. This guy was a fraud. We unfortunately knew Lynn wasn't going to take this very well, but this scam had to be stopped. Our team sat down with her to go over what we had found and the steps she needed to take to move forward.
Hello, Lynn. How are you today?
A little anxious here, Brianna.
You're a little anxious.
Yeah.
What type of information are you hoping to hear today?
If I'm honest, I'm hoping that he comes out to be real and that you found information that he's a real person and that he's not playing games with me and he's not taking advantage of me. That's what I'm hoping.
What are your conversations with Hub like at the moment?
He's still in Zurich, having problems with the bank. I says, they're playing games with you. I says, I think something's wrong with your bank, with this bank. It's just all craziness to me. None of it makes sense. None of it. It's absolutely insane.
We know you've been anxiously waiting for this interview. Our team has put a lot of work into this, pulling some of the information. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
The first thing that I want to do is I want to talk about this person's tactics. One of the most common stories that a scammer uses is being an engineer. This same exact scenario that you're in with Hub was a huge red flag for us.
Contractor, military, and doctors are some of the most commonly used occupations for romance scammers. These jobs often mean they have to travel. This gives them a reason to never meet you in person.
We want to direct our attention to the wire transfer information first. Banks have a process of reporting all transfers over $10,000. I know that your transfer was under $10,000. This keeps the banks from noticing that this is suspicious activity. And so we suggest that you report this to your bank because we would like to have them flag this. Have them flag this account, Russell's account, for potential fraud.
Okay.
So Brianne and the search specialists were able to run all of the photos that you got from Hub through our website, and we were able to get some results.
Okay.
Every single photo that was sent to you from Hub was on this man's profile. His name is Gene. He's an average guy. We were able to find tons of fake profiles all across the internet of Gene. All of the original images that Hub sent you are on this man's social media. He is also not even into women. He's a gay man. Hub has been lying to you for years about who he is, and he's been able to pull it off by stealing this man's images and also his likeness.
Right. Interesting. And this guy Gene is on social media. And where does he live, supposedly?
Well, we don't want to disclose that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Damn. I just unbelievable. I just can't. It's just, even though I'm a smart woman and I know that this happens, it's just beyond my comprehension how people can get away with this. Mm-hmm. It is just beyond my comprehension. And they get away with it because people like me fall victim of it.
That's why it's important that we do what we do to help provide you with answers and information.
I'll tell you something. I'd like to see his ass arrested.
We attempt to get recourse for all of the victims that come onto our YouTube channel. Our first step is getting Lynn to file a police report. Next, submit everything to the IC3. Some of the connections we have with authorities overseas will play a big part in getting this person posing as Gene put behind bars, and hopefully we can recover some of Lynn's money. Be on the lookout for a list of scammers that we've been able to put behind bars for some of the victims that have been featured on our YouTube channel.
So the last little piece here is you sending everything that you have so we can create a wonderful, beautiful graph of everything that's been going on here, where all the funds have been traced to, and then we'll also include a doc that will label all of the transactions and where they went to, and if they eventually led to an exchange, because there may be some recourse with the exchange.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions?
No, I guess I just, it's really sad because all my family and friends told me it wasn't real, and he wasn't real, and he wasn't. Even today, he told me he was going to come home tomorrow. He was coming here tomorrow, and I'm like, I honestly think that after today's conversation, he's almost like he's not gonna because he won't answer my phone calls anymore. So I kind of think he's running away now. But I don't know.
When was the last time you sent him money?
The other day.
Why?
It's I just believed him. That was the problem. I believed him.
Yeah.
And it's been a year and a half that I've been talking to him. And I did fall in love with him. Now I can tell you that of late, between talking to you guys and the way he's been acting and all this other stuff, I've been thinking to myself, what am I, a nutcase? Something's wrong with me. That I'm not a rich woman. I am not a rich woman by any stretch of the imagination. I need to take care of myself.
Lynn, I think you're a great woman with a big heart. And, unfortunately, these guys, they're vultures, and that's,
right.
That's what they go for. And my advice to you is to just cut it off as quick as you can and just block him.
Yeah, no, that's what's going to happen. I was really looking forward to this call, and I knew if this is what you told me, that's what was going to happen. Blocking him and cutting it off. Anybody out there, just be so careful, and just rely on people like Social Catfish to help you make sure that who you're talking to is real.
We'll get past this, and we're going to be here to help you, okay?
Thank you so much. I thank you so much for you being there and for allowing me to tell my story.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Remember, all of our new videos go out every Wednesday, so please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, Seekers, we'll see you guys next time.